When disaster strikes, fuel is survival. It powers your generator, your heat, your cooking, maybe even your bug out plan. But not all fuel is the same. And if you're not storing it right, you could be setting yourself up for failure. Welcome here if you're new, and welcome back if you're already a subscriber. In this video, I'm covering my 5 most important fuels for emergency preparedness. We've got gasoline, propane, kerosene, isobutane, and white gas. And I'm showing you exactly how to store them safely and smartly. Let's get into it. Here we've got gasoline. Gasoline is a go-to for generators, vehicles, and certain tools, but it's also one of the trickiest ones to store. Store gasoline in approved containers like red gas cans like this one. You know it's gasoline because it's red, and that's what you use to store your gasoline. You can use red metal safety cans as well if they are rated for gasoline. So I also use fuel stabilizers to extend shelf life. Gasoline begins degrading in as little as 30 days, but with proper use of fuel stabilizers, you can actually get 1 to 2 years out of it. And I'm going to talk about rotating your fuels later on in the video. Keep your containers in a cool, well-ventilated space, away from direct sunlight or any other ignition sources. And I rotate my fuel every 6 to 12 months, regardless of stabilizers or not. I use it and I replace it. Never store gasoline indoors or near pilot lights or source of any ignition. Treat it with the respect it deserves. The next fuel source we're going to talk about is propane. So propane is a preparedness favorite, and for good reason. It's clean burning, long lasting, and versatile. You can easily carry around these 20-pound propane tanks. That's why I choose this size, as well as, I forgot to mention, that's why I choose the 5-gallon size of gasoline as well, because they're easier to carry for any member of our family. So you can use them with your barbecue, of course, with a larger camp stove. You can use it with a Mr. Buddy propane heater, and actually not only provide heat camping, but also as an emergency backup for your main heat source in your house if something is going on. If you're going to use a propane heater for backup heat, make sure you have proper alarms set up and that you're following the manufacturer's directions for that use. Propane is relatively easy to store if you follow these guidelines. So store them in a DOT approved tank or cylinder. Keep your tank upright and outdoors in a shaded, secure area. Just like with all fuels, you want to keep them out of the sun and you want to keep them cool. So avoid an enclosed space like a small shed or garage with poor ventilation. That's just asking for the buildup of explosive gas, which you do not want to do. Shelf life. It's almost indefinite if the tank is intact. Propane lasts a long time, but the tanks do degrade. So you want to keep watching those and rotate. That's why I have a tank trader bottle, and we keep a various number of those, and we just keep rotating through them. So you want to make sure your tank is intact, your valve is functional. So kudos on propane because it doesn't degrade, but the tank hardware can. So make sure you're inspecting your valves, hoses yearly as you store propane. Our next fuel up is kerosene. Kerosene is an interesting fuel because it is ideal for long burning heat in cold emergencies, especially with the right heater. We actually use a kerosene lantern in our greenhouse during that shoulder season where it's kind of on the cold side at night. We just want to keep that temperature up in the greenhouse for germination and just keeping things from freezing. And it does an excellent job because it burns all through the night, very safe in that lantern. So I'll show you some B-roll on that. This container of kerosene is how it came from the store. All that happened was the label just fell off of it. I've left it in here. I haven't transferred these smaller jugs into, say, a large 5-gallon kerosene jug because I have got something for that purpose, and I'm going to show that in a minute. But you can use those blue cans just like the gasoline cans, but use a blue container that's for kerosene so you never get them mixed up or confused, or anyone else in your family getting those things confused. So again, store kerosene in a cool, dry place and avoid contamination with any water. Kerosene does have a shelf life, and it's up to about 5 years if stored properly and sealed. So kerosene is really great for indoor safe heating when using ventilation or a rated kerosene heater, and I'm going to show you some B-roll of the one that we use and have used. We used it one time when our furnace went down for about 7 days, and it kept our house from freezing and actually kept us quite comfortable. This pail or bucket is the way I store kerosene for long-term use, up to 5 years, of course. So when you're using kerosene, just be sure you're using ventilation because fumes can build up fast. Our number 4 fuel is the smallest one on the table, and that would be isobutane. So isobutane, for compact cooking fuel, isobutane really is a top choice because of its compactness. You can use this with a small backpacking stove. You can use it actually with quite a large stove as well. But they're so versatile, they're so lightweight, and they provide so much heat for a very compact package. Isobutane is my favorite fuel for small scale cooking. You can take your small stove, your backpacking stove, and screw that on and have hot water in a couple of minutes. It's just an excellent fuel for getting the job done without a whole lot of fuss. It comes in these small pressurized containers, so they're easy to store and pack. This one is 8 ounces, and this other one here is actually 16 ounces. So this would last you for a long time. So we actually store quite a few of these. Isobutane containers like this are so convenient, but I will say there is a drawback with them. We deal where we're at with cold temperatures, and they do not perform great in cold temperatures. If you just have this sitting in a backpack and it's well below freezing, and you just pull it out, put a stove on it, and hope it's gonna work, it will not really work. You'll get a little spurt of flame or nothing at all. So what I do is I take this whole canister and stick it in an inside pocket in my coat right against my body for about 20 to 30 minutes before I'm going to use it. That way it's good to go. Keep isobutane cartridges in your go bags, in your backpacking gear, because they are so compact, they're safe, and no liquid mess to go along with them, and you can store a lot of them in relatively small space. We are on to number 5, white gas, also known as Coleman fuel. It's really a powerful multi-use fuel that is perfect for stoves and lanterns. That's how it started way back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. It was a very popular fuel. So white gas containers like this, you can just buy them in the store and store it long-term in that container. If you've used this fuel in an old school Coleman pump stove, drop a comment. I'd love to know about it. Those of you that have served have used this fuel in various locations and tents with an old school Coleman green stove. Store this fuel in its original metal canisters or approved fuel bottles. And its shelf life is about 5 to 7 years unopened. And it's about 1 to 2 years once you open it. So again, with all of these fuels, here's the rule, and it applies to white gas. Keep it in a cool, dry location and always recap it tightly after use. White gas burns very hot and clean, making it ideal for cooking and for lighting. Never store white gas near open flames. Here's a couple things as we wrap up this section before I talk about rotation. So always label your fuel clearly and check storage regularly for leaks, for rust, for swelling, or weird odors. Keep a fire extinguisher nearby. We keep several in different locations, but one is very close to our fuel storage. And I will say, we have a homemade fuel locker. It's just made out of some pallet wood. It's well ventilated and it's lockable, and it's stored quite a ways away from our house. Fuel doesn't last forever, even when stored right. That's why rotation is key. Mark your containers with the date, use the oldest fuel first, and replace it with fresh stock. This simple habit keeps your supply reliable, ready, and safe when it matters most. Don't just store it, manage it. You can see on this canister the date I bought it and how much it was used in an event and then put back into storage. And the biggest thing is never store your fuel inside your living space. That's why we put it way out there. It's 100 feet away from our house. If you can't do that, just put it as far away as you can inside a well-ventilated space. Protect it from the elements, protect it from the sun, keep it cool, and keep it ventilated. These fuels are more than just convenience. It is a lifeline in a crisis. By storing the right types of fuel safely and smartly, you're setting yourself up for real resilience inside a disaster. If I could compress this whole video down into one line, it would be prepare now and store smart and survive better. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you just don't miss out on the next guide. I've got lots more coming. Do you have a fuel storage tip or question for the community? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear what fuels you're storing that might be different than these and how you're preparing. Thanks for watching.